This is Muhammad Hamouda speaking. Today, this is the second lecture at the introduction about technical and scientific translation. Actually, last lecture we have talked about the main differences between the main definitions of technical and scientific translations. Then we highlight the main differences between them and the differences between scientific and technical translation and other types of translation, which is mainly literary translation. Uh, Today, and these are the scientific translation or scientific texts usually are logical, reasonable, lexical, denotative meaning is used, idiomatic expressions are rarely used, the limited use of figurative language, and so on, while literary texts are characterized with emotionality, vagueness, lack of argumentative progression, the extensive use of figures of speech, and so on. So, today we are going to talk about, in this lecture, we are going to talk about two main things. The first one is the main problems of scientific translations, and the second part, we are going to talk about or to investigate the main strategies that can be used in scientific translation. To start with the main problems, actually, the first problem is due to or is related to the differences between Arabic and English, semantic differences, syntactic differences, and even pragmatic differences. To start with, actually, English is a flexible language in terms of using compound morphemes or borrowing items or terms from other languages. For example, look at the word television. Actually, this word is borrowed from Latin or Greek origins. For example, it consists of two main morphemes, as you see, telos, which means remote or distance, and the second one is vision, which means sight or image. Thus, the meaning of this compound morphemes, these two main free compound morphemes or Latin free compound morphemes, litos and vision, are or reflects the entire meaning or the entire use of television. It is a distance bringing. It means simply means bringing an image or bringing images from distance or from uh, bringing images from distances or from remote regions. So this the entire meaning is reflected. Okay. Also, regarding the borrowing, English is so flexible in borrowing items from other languages, especially from Greek and Latin roots, while Arabic, on other hand, Arabic is not as flexible as English in borrowing or in using compound morphemes from other languages. The second problem is that so many technical terms are originally invented in the West or in English or in English languages. For example, look at watt. Actually, watt is a unit of measurement used to measure the electric current the electric current. Actually, it is the name of the one who invented this unit or this measurement. So, these technical terms or these scientific terms are originally invented in the West or in English, but when we borrow them in Arabic, they seem strange to some extent. The second one is the second problem is that there is no agreement among Arabs on the rendering of scientific and technical terms. For example, if we have a certain technical term in English, we have in Arabic so many terms that reflect the same item. So we have no agreement, we have no consistency in Arabic language regarding translating lexical, regarding translating scientific or technical terms. For example, if you look to mobile is a word only, but in Arabic we have more than five or six equivalent items to the same meaning. We have some people say it mobile as it is, borrowing the English pronunciation. Some people say هاتف محمول, هاتف نقال, uh, جوال, and so on. All of these terms refer to only one term, technical term in English, which is mobile. The fourth problem is that most of the foreign items are strange and new to the Arabic language and to the Arabic culture. For example, if you look to satellite, actually, satellite is a problematic issue in translation, especially in English and Arabic translation, because it is originally not English word, but it is originally a Latin word. It is borrowed from a Latin, the, the original Latin word is satellite. Now, in Arabic, what to do? Either we have three choices. Now, the first choice is to adopt the English pronunciation, borrowing it from English. The second is borrowing it from its original language. I mean, we can borrow it from the Latin as satellite. The third one, we can produce a new term which reflect or invent a new term which reflects its meaning or its usage, especially meaning or usage, thus as قمر صناعي. So what can we do? What strategy is the best to be adopted? Now, okay, so many people say it is satellite, and so many people say it is قمر صناعي. So we have a diversity in terms that refer to the same technical term in English, and this constitutes a very important problem. Now, regarding the strategies of translation or strategies used to render technical or scientific terms from English into Arabic. Actually, as we said last lecture, literary terms, scientific terms and technical terms usually differ in some extent in terms of the purpose of every type, the purpose of their vocabulary, in terms of the vocabulary themselves or the usage of these vocabularies, and so on. While the strategies of translations that can be adopted to render technical terms are the same as the strategies uh, adopted to translate or to render scientific terms. Both strategies are the same to deal with scientific translation and technical translation. Now we are going to talk about these strategies one by one. The first one is transcription and Arabization. Actually, as we see, transcription is the same as Arabization, and also it can be referred as naturalization. So, and this is a problem in translation studies in general, that we have the same strategy. We have several names for the same strategy. Okay, to look at transcription or Arabization, it means that adopting the same pronunciation of the English one into Arabic, the same pronunciation of the English word into Arabic, for example, but we can make slight differences in terms of alphabetics or in terms of phonetic or morphological changes, such as microwave. It can be rendered into Arabic as microwave, and we have made a simple phonetic change. The if sound is rendered as if, microwave, microwave, because if sound does not exist in Arabic. So, so we make a slight difference, a slight phonetic difference, or a slight phonetic change to make the Arabic word, or to make the English pronunciation acceptable in Arabic language. Megabyte as terabyte, and so on. Actually, Arabization and or transcription does not give the meaning, does not give the entire meaning of the word. For example, microwave. What is meant by microwave? As an Arabic word, I can't even guess its meaning, because Arabization usually does not give the original meaning. So, uh, actually, this strategy should be avoided at all. Should be avoided because of two things. The first one, it does not give the meaning. Also, it reflects that, or it indicates that the translator is unable to produce a pure a pure Arabic term that reflects the entire meaning. So, it does not reflect the richness of Arabic language, since Arabic language is very rich in terms of vocabulary, and the number of vocabulary in Arabic dictionaries. We have about 13 million Arabic words in Arabic dictionaries. So, we Arabic language is very, very rich. We should make benefits and use these dictionaries, or these wide number of vocabulary in Arabic dictionaries, to produce or to invent a new pure vocabularies that reflect the entire meaning. The second, okay, for example, sandwich, it can be rendered as sandwich. Okay, now in some Arabic terms, on some technical terms, we have Arabic equivalent terms. So to them, so we are, or translators are encouraged to adopt the Arabic equivalent terms. For example, computer, it means hasib or hasub. We can use hasub, not computer, not borrowing it as it is. Virus, jurthuma means jurthuma, and so on. But actually, in everyday language, we have some terms, some English terms that is transcribed into Arabic, and their transcription is easier than the Arabic equivalent items, and this is a really problem. For example, email. This word email is transcribed from English, is borrowed from English at it is, but we have an Arabic equivalent, which is الرسالة الإلكترونية. Regarding, look at the number of the words. Email is one word, الرسالة الإلكترونية is a phrase, two words. So we feel that email is easier to be used and than الرسالة الإلكترونية. Uh, Now, regarding the Mona Baker, uh, encourages not to use Arabization, the Arabization strategy, because it threatens the identity of the Arabic language. Actually, uh, through through time passing, we feel the extensive use of borrowing and Arabization. We will feel that our language or our speech is a mixture of Arabic vocabularies and vocabularies from other languages. So we feel that as if we are not speaking a real Arabic. Okay, so transcription or naturalization or Arabization, all of these terms refer to the same strategy according to to Mina Baker. The extensive use of this strategy threatens the identity of the Arabic language. And also, Arabic translators should be more creative and should introduce or should invent new vocabularies. Actually, uh, to fulfill this problem threatening the identity of the Arabic language, Ghazala suggested adopting another strategy, which is coinage or new coinage. Coinage means invention. Invention, that means we can invent new pure Arabic words to as equivalent items to English ones. Look at now coinage. We have three main processes of coinage or new coinage. This first process is called derivation. Derivation means al-ishtiqaq. Actually, Arabic is the language of derivation. Arabic هي العربية هي لغة الاشتقاق. Look at the, for example, كاتب, يكتب, maktub, maktaba. All of these words are derived from one root, one Arabic root, which is كتبة. يعني هذه الأربع كلمات فقط مشتقة من جذر واحد في اللغة العربية وهو كتبة. So Arabic is the language of derivation, and we should make use of this feature in Arabic language to produce new items or to invent new items for English scientific terms. The addition, for example, we can add prefixes, suffixes, infixes, or vocabulary or vowels, and so on. For example, look at data means it may be translated as al-mu'tayat, and al-mu'tayat is derived from the verb أعطى, generator, مولد, and it is derived from the word يولد or ولد. مصنع, factory, can be rendered as مصنع, which is derived from the verb صنع, and so on. So derivation, Arabic is the language of derivation. Actually, we have several mechanisms for derivation, such as the first mechanism مفعل على وزن مفعل. So, laboratory, for example, can be rendered as مخبز على وزن مفعل. Grease box can be rendered as مشحم على وزن مفعلة. Refrigerator means ثلاجة, and it is derived على وزن مفعالة, ثلاجة مفعالة. mixture خلاطة على وزن مفعالة. drill مثقاب على وزن مفعال, and so on. So, but actually this strategy is not or can't be applied. This strategy is restricted because it can't be applied to all terms. Not every term can be derived. So It is limited. The second one, the second strategy or new coinage is revival. Revival means al-ihya. What is meant by al-ihya? From its name, that means bringing some words back into the present. Some words that can be used, that that are used in that were used in the past, some words that were be used in the past and faded away, not nowadays, faded away or not used nowadays. We can bring them back and make use of these lexicon, of these lexemes. For example, train, it means قطار, but in Arabic, in the past it means or a lion or a lion or camels. يعني خط من الجمال أو قطيع من الجمال كبير، كانوا جمال خط من الجمال ماشيين ورا بعض، كنا نسميهم في اللغة العربية زمان قطار. So we can revive this word قطار to render a train, because the train also walks in a line. Okay, run, car means سيارة. In the night, actually, it is originally used to mean the night travelers. Newspaper جريدة, it means a new or a small palm stick used for writing. Uh, actually, uh, this method or revival is not always successful. Why? Because it is something difficult to revive, to go to the past dictionaries and to bring these words back. It takes a lot of efforts and so on. So we can take neologisms. We can adopt neologisms. Actually, neologisms is introducing new terms and concepts into the Arabic language by translating the meaning. So, neologisms means the rendition, the meaning rendition, or translating only the meaning. This word or this strategy is more acceptable than the revival because it is easier to be used, to be understood by the public, and so on. For example, computer programming can be rendered as برمجة الكمبيوتر. word processing معالجة الكلمات. psychological or psychoanalysis التحليل النفسي. psycho from psychology, analysis means التحليل. So we can render the meaning of this expression, which is التحليل النفسي. Phonetics in English means علم الصوتيات, and we can render it as علم الصوتيات. So neologism is acceptable, is more acceptable than revival because it is easier to be used and easier to be understood by the public. Um, uh, actually, look at now reaching to circumlocution strategy. This strategy means الاشتقاق المعنوي in Arabic, or derivation of meaning. What is meant by derivation of meaning? Derived and the mean derive we derive the meaning from the meaning only. Okay, for example, cartoon means رسوم متحركة. Video جهاز التسجيل المرئي. But as you look ideal, for example, المثل الأعلى, but as you look, we have one word which is rendered as a phrase. Video, one word rendered جهاز التسجيل المركزي, phrase consisting of three words. So this strategy usually the result of this strategy is phrases, not words. Okay, and so this strategy usually produces longer terms than the original ones, uh, usually phrases, not words, and also it leads to the multiplicity of terms. What is meant by multiplicity of terms? Every translator invents his own arbitrary translation. So we will have several translations, several items referring to the one item in English, and this as the story of موبايل والجوال والهاتف المحمول والهاتف النقال كلهم فقط واحد. Okay. Now, also some Arabic invented terms are more difficult than the original items, the original English items. For example, the acronym AIDS. The acronym AIDS, مرض الإيدز. In Arabic, مرض نقص المناعة المكتسب. It is a phrase, it is a long phrase consisting of four words, while the English acronym is only one word which is easily produced. So when we render a technical term, we should or we must invent an easier term than the original, or or not easier, as easy as the original, not necessary to invent more difficult item. Okay. Now, blending, also النحت, it can be used in Arabic, means النحت. We have two words or three words. We can invent only one word that refer to a phrase. For example, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم can be rendered as البسملة. البسملة هنا نحت، النحت هنا كلمة واحدة بتشير لمجموعة من الكلمات. حوقلة، لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله and so on. Uh, Actually, this is these are the main these are the main strategies, the main problems, and this is the end of this lecture. Actually, if you these are the references. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me whatever you want. Thank you very much.